Hi, my name is Raja, and before I start with my speech, I would just like to thank everyone for coming out today and showing your support. A lot of different groups of it, and I feel indebted to them because past few months we've been fighting for our voice to be heard, and I think it's slowly being heard. And one of our guest speakers have said that our Tamil community is no more alone, and we will be together and we'll be helped, and I think that our Tamil community will be indebted to everyone that has helped us. So, it is with profound sadness and with extreme pain we are gathered here today to remember and mourn for the victims of our war with our witness thousands of miles away in Sri Lanka. At this moment, a further 300,000 more victims of this genocidal war are languishing in concentration camps without basic facilities such as food and proper shelter. While we pause to mourn for the more than 20,000 innocent Tamils who were murdered in cold blood by the Sri Lankan government forces, let us not forget the real challenge ahead of us. It's ensuring that further killings and torture of Tamils in these concentration camps are immediately brought to halt. According to the latest reports from various reputed media as well as from leaked information from the United Nations, it is evident that the United Nations as well as several nations were aware of the extent of the tragedy unfolding on a daily basis in the so-called safe zone in Sri Lanka. Through various means, the Tamil diaspora, for their part, had, for the last 5 months, been highlighting the unfolding massacre of Tamils in most Western nations as well as in India. Reputed human rights organizations such as Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, as well as non-governmental organizations such as Medicine Sans Frontier and the International Committee of Red Cross had been continuing to sound a warning alarm over the plight of Tamil people in the Bengal region. Such warnings have, for the most part, fallen on deaf ears. According to the conservative estimates from independent sources, more than 20,000 Tamils have been killed in the last 5 months alone, and up to 30,000 have been severely injured, in many cases losing a leg. Reports from the United Nations suggest that during the last 3 days of the peak of this massacre, up to 1,000 civilians were getting killed every day due to incendies, artillery, shelling, aerial bombardment, and close quarter fighting. We heard stories of children who were simultaneously wounded and orphaned because their parents were perished in the killing zone. We heard stories where all the members of the family were killed as they slept in tents. We heard stories of elders fleeing their homes due to shelling, having perished without food or water, and no one to care for them. We heard heartbreaking stories that several children and mothers were killed due to bombings while they queued up to receive milk powder for their children. These people were families and relatives and friends of many of you that have gathered here today. These people who had depended upon this kith and kin in the Western nations to somehow bring about change to the situation, such that their lives and their families' lives were safeguarded, and they sincerely believe that their families overseas would save them. As a result, several thousand Tamils here in Canada are not only extremely saddened, but also feel a great sense of guilt that they had let down their people. It may take years for the diaspora Tamil community to heal themselves from such wounds. Again, as we take a pause to remember the loved ones that have been murdered, let us keep in mind that it is up to us to make a difference in the lives of those who continue to suffer in this concentration camps and in several hospitals around Sri Lanka. What we do today and going forward can at least ensure that we provide a better life to the ones that were lucky enough to survive this senseless massacre by the Sri Lankan government forces. The purpose of the concentration camps is evident. Even the United Nations has to apply extreme pressure on the Sri Lankan government to be granted access to these camps, and even then it is very limited. Only on a daily basis there are abductions and forced disappearances that continue to unabated in these camps. First-hand reporting by the United States Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who visited one of these camps and surveyed the killing zone from here, indicate that the carnage inflicted is of never before seen proportions and require immediate attention to. Every one of us should continue to strive for unrestricted access to the people that have been housed in the concentration camps. We cannot let our sorrows overcome us and continue to let this genocide take a different shape and form in these camps. We have responsibilities to their voices and continue to highlight their plight. We have obligations to ensure that they are guaranteed the basic needs such as food, shelter, medicine, and education, and their fundamental rights such as freedom of movement, freedom of speech, right to choose their destiny is met. More than 60 years after the Holocaust of the Jewish people, the events and the memories of the atrocities still haunts and pains the victims of their families. Even after the profound tragedy we helplessly witnessed Rwanda, Darfur, and Bosnia, today we witness the horrific genocide of Tamils in Sri Lanka as it continues. It is time to say enough is enough. It is time to try the brutal regime of Rajapaksa brothers of Sri Lanka in the International Criminal Court and hold them accountable for these crimes. It is time for all Canadians to realize our responsibilities to protect these people. It is time the entire world says no to this crime against humanity. It is time that Tamils in Sri Lanka have their right to choose their destiny with peace and dignity. It is time. Thank you.